What's going on, guys? It's Jamie. Today I'm going to be talking about how you, as a coach, affiliate marketer, consultant, entrepreneur who does stuff online or sells anything, or pretty much anyone that's got any form of audience at all, how you can start to pull different levers in your business to spit out daily cash flow. Once you understand the core mechanics of this and the raw mechanics of it as well, I should say, then you've got a license to print money. Now, I know that's a pretty bold claim, and some of you may choose to disregard this information. However, like I say, this is truly the fundamentals of sales, marketing, and offer creation that we're going to go through. So, thought I'd just really just spitball what's on the top of my head regarding these topics at the moment. Hopefully, a couple of you are going to get value from that. Of course, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jamie, and this particular segment of my channel is really just me documenting the last 12 years of being online, having sold millions of dollars worth of stuff. Just recalculate, it's actually over 900 students now, millions of dollars in awards and all sorts of stuff. So if that's of interest, you're interested in keeping up to date with what I'm putting out, feel free to hit the old subscribe button, drop any comments, and let me know if there's anything you'd like to learn along the way. I will leave a copy of this in the description as well. If you'd like to pick that up, feel free. Hopefully there's going to be a bit of information there, a bit of value for you guys as well. Right. So this particular part of my channel, by the way, it's I do have a more formal, like well-edited version of videos. So you're welcome to check those out. I don't love recording videos. In fact, I really don't enjoy it at all. What I do enjoy is just riffing off the top of my head, which is why I decided to put this particular part of my channel together, where I don't really edit anything. It's just going to be the raw files. Sometimes I'll put a thumbnail up, sometimes I won't. Don't really care. This is designed to strengthen the relationship I have with my existing audience anyway. Right, so let's dive into it. So if you have an audience of any kind now, if you happen to have stumbled upon this and you're an influencer and you're already like making money out of selling influencer type stuff, there's probably a more efficient and a more better, dare I say, better way for you to monetize your existing audience, right? And so, like I say, once you understand certain mechanics, it's basically a license to spit out cash flow, which is pretty nice. It's what we all want, right? Anyway, so before we dive into this, let's have a look at what needs to be in place in order for this stuff to basically work, right? And so the first thing is you need to have a reason. Well, that is terribly small font. My apologies. Make sure we make that a bit chunkier. Hopefully you all can see that. Reason for people to want to reason for people to listen to us. Right, so we need to have a sense of expertise in something. We need to have a sense of authority, or we need to have some level of credibility around a specific topic. In a perfect world, what we would actually have is some level of authority and expertise in the subject, but absent of that, if you're just kind of getting started in this whole online space, hopefully you have some level of knowledge about something, or maybe as you're learning, you're actually just documenting what you're learning as you're going, which funnily enough, actually helps to build credibility and trust and authority along the way. Anyway, so you need to have a reason for that. And so what we'd like to do is we need to create a sense of authority. Now, you'll notice these lovely awards behind me there, which is two awards. One is from ClickFunnels, the funnel builder that is given to people when you surpass $1 million in revenue. For those that are involved in the ClickFunnels world, you might automatically instantly get that. Go, oh my God, ClickFunnels, 2 Common Club Award. The one beside it is actually for an affiliate program I'm part of. It's called Group Juice. And those lads actually came through our program there for that and have gone on to create their own really awesome program as well. And they're absolutely crushing it. We partnered together for a launch, and we pulled in like 43K and just absolutely crushed it. So they sent me a nice award, which was really cool. Right now, the reason I say that, not for my own ego, it is to basically reiterate the level of authority that I may have for some people. Some people might go, that guy doesn't have any authority. I've got 1 billion awards, ha ha ha. And other people might just not give a crap about an award anyway, and that's completely fine. That's fine. Like, welcome to life. Not everyone's going to like what you do, right? Now, you do need a sense of authority. Now, if you're in the earlier stages of this game and you're sort of thinking, well, hang on, that's great for you, Jamie. I mean, you've been doing this for 12 years, with hundreds of students, you've millions of dollars, blah, blah, right? That's fine, because you can actually create a sense of authority without having awards, without having sold a bunch of stuff, without students, blah 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 blah. You can actually create it, right? And so I'm just going to cover this really really basically. Now, again, this was actually discussing. This video was targeted at people that have an existing audience. So if you don't have an existing audience and you're looking to build one, this is be one of the things you probably want to make sure that you are adding along the way. Otherwise, it's a feel good party, right? You need to be able to create a sense of credibility, create a sense of leadership for folks to basically follow along suit, right? So what do you need? You basically need a couple of ways. You can build it through social proof. You can build it through audience size in general. That actually adds to the social proof as well, funnily enough. But it's from a monetization standpoint, you do not need a big audience. Trust me. This little tiny channel you're watching this thing on has made me literally tens of thousands of dollars. Like literally tens of thousands of dollars. Not off AdSense revenue, anything like that. I make virtually nothing off that. Most of my videos aren't even monetized, or I choose not to have them monetized. But what I do make significant income from this channel based on that is people finding me, and also people finding me from other places like Facebook or wherever else I'm popping up, and they'll come and search me on YouTube. They'll maybe watch a couple of these videos. They might go, okay, this sort of raw style of doing things resonates with me. This guy seems like he knows some stuff, so on and so forth, right? So therefore, they then tend to follow the paper trail and go find links and all sorts of stuff, right? So anyway, that's it. Authority, social proof, audience, like I say, negligible from a monetization standpoint, but it does have a. If you see someone with a big audience, like 100,000 subscribers or whatever, then you instantly, oh my god, they must know some stuff, right? And so it does have that kind of appeal, but it's not super important as far as I'm concerned. Social proof, that is basically in a couple of different forms, so we can break that down a little bit further. We can go things like testimonials, testimonials. Testimonials, really, is that right? It feels like it looks wrong. Testimonials, there we go, that'll do. Thank God I'm better at making cash online than I am at spelling, right? Anyway, testimonials, you can do things like engagement if you're on, say, for example, Facebook or any of the other platforms that matter. If you are able to spend a bit of time within the algorithm, so for example, if I on Facebook on my profile, if I was going to add a bunch of people as my friends that are relatively targeted to what I'm trying to provide as a solution, either as an affiliate or a coach, kind of. And I just go and engage in their stuff. I go like a photo, make sure you don't be one of those weirdos that scrolls through and finds bikini photos from 2017 and like it. Don't be creepy and weird. Just if it's relevant and recent. It's the two rules that I have, is the two R's: relevant and recent. If it's not, and it's something completely different and it's old, maybe give it a miss, right? But if you're engaging in their content, what it does is it's kind of I guess basically spending time within the algorithm, and some people will reciprocate, which means that when you start getting more and more comments on your content, it's going to push that further and further out to the algorithm, to more and more people. So therefore they see it. And also, like I say, from a social proof standpoint, when you see someone who has, for example, 100 to 200 comments per post, as an example, then of course you subconsciously, at least anyway, you will pre-validate that person. You must assume, even in a split second, okay, that person must know some stuff, right? So that's why you do it. It's something that you don't need to keep doing forever. It tends to have a mind of its own eventually, and some of the biggest coaches in the space that are doing everything via Facebook that I've met, some of them don't have any engagement at all, like 1 or 2 likes. So it's not something you need to lean on forever. It's just something that will certainly help get your message out there initially and build that initial authority. You also do things like leads. Real simple. What you can do is, the way that the platforms seem to be moving is they're kind of modeling the style of likes of TikTok, right? With short form video, our attention span is virtually nothing these days, right? So really, really simple. Leverage things like stories and the short form content. Stories in particular work really well, especially if you're on Instagram or Facebook. And literally, you take a little duck face selfie. Go me, blah blah. Would you like my free guide to cracking your first 1K day in just 7 days? Following the simple process, blah blah. And there's a poll option. Obviously, I'm explaining this with my fingers. You probably just have to look on your phone to find this out. And then just put a poll option of yes and maybe, or yes, no, whatever. And all you need is just literally one person One person in a 24-hour period to go, yeah, I like that. Guess what? You've got a warm inbound lead. Someone who in your audience has gone, oh, I'd like some information. Doesn't mean they're automatically going to buy. Okay, just relax, calm down. But the point being is that getting an inbound lead can create a sense of authority. Sorry, I put this in the wrong space, but you kind of get the idea. Where are we? That's the one. What did I say? Leads. So then you can make posts about that. You can go, simple. What is that? A two-step formula. Duck face selfie, poll option on your thing. Two steps, bang, done. Right. Simple formula for bringing. It is unlimited because you keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Unlimited. Limited. Inbound. You're not chasing, they're coming inbound. And leads. Drop a oops, drop $1. Yes, drop me $1 below and I will send it to you. How to make $1 online, just give me $1 and I'll show you. Simple formula for bringing unlimited inbound leads, drop it below to access the free guide. I don't know, I'm making this up on the fly, so bear with me. Anyway, this is what we call a bait post. Bait, right? And so therefore you could get leads. And so therefore now all of a sudden you get like 100 comments, people like, yeah, me, my, yes, one. Now you're starting to get authority, right? Because now you got unlimited inbound leads. And guess what? That's very likely to lead into, which is the next one, which is low ticket sales. Right, these types of things. Implied authority. This is not something I see, especially if you're an affiliate marketer, you're getting started, you need to start working out how you can make implications in your content. So for me, the authority is implied based on things like ClickFunnels Award, etc. The fact that I wave it around, the fact it's just sitting there static, the fact that I draw your attention to it over and over and over and over and over again. Not again, not an ego-based thing. It really is just to establish authority for my audience and help a few folks out along the way. Oh, excuse me. Got the sniffles. So the implied authority is, for example, having worked with quite a few students now, I can quite accurately say, for example, one of the reasons why my students tend to do really well is because of the fact that I teach the raw fundamentals of selling, of marketing, of offer creation, things that are universal in nature. They're not going to die off when a platform does. These are things that you can transcend a platform. You can go into email marketing or the YouTubes or the blah, 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 whatever platform, really doesn't matter. It is still going to be the same things. What I'm teaching you guys here is still going to be the same in 10 years' time. Different, like, mechanisms of putting it out there. Oh my God, seriously, this is getting depressing. Oh, far out. Excuse me, sorry, folks. It's still going to be the same, right? It's based on human psychology, and that's why my students tend to do really, really well, is because it's not just like, here's a done for you hack, here's a done for you funnel, just send traffic and you make $1 trillion. It's high ticket sales. It is the raw fundamentals of that stuff, and so that is the implication, right? So I can also talk about results. One of the reasons why I've been able to make millions of dollars online, sell millions. I haven't technically made millions of dollars myself yet, but I've sold millions of dollars worth of stuff over the years. Reasons why my students crush it. That's an implication. Let's crush it. It's because you can talk about student wins as well. Actually, that's probably a new one. Student wins. Right, so this is all really important for you to understand, because once you get a grasp of this stuff and you're like, okay, cool. So now I've got a little bit of an audience, and we've given a reason for people to listen to us, like an expertise or whatever. And actually, there's one more that's probably student results. One more that's really important is actually helping people out, right? Actually helping them out. That's the thing. That's how you can create authority. Even if you're like fully just transparent, hey, I don't have all the answers, I'm just getting started myself, like I'm just trying to figure stuff out, but I do happen to know a few things because you've jumped into a program, you've maybe taken some courses, whatever the case may be. Maybe you've got a mentor and you're able to help someone else out with the knowledge you've now gained. And you just like say, look, I don't have everything figured out. My God, this is so terrible. Why now? Why would it, like, it was fine. Literally just before I hit record, it was fine. Now my nose is like just like leaking and horrible. And anyways, whatever. Anyway, hopefully this makes sense. So, oh, it's actually really embarrassing. I'm not. I don't care. You guys just have to put up with it, or maybe I should just have the discipline not to react to an itchy nose all the time. That's it. All right. So now that we kind of understand that, we've given people a reason to listen to us. And by the way, it feels very repetitive because it is. You have to keep reminding your audience, hey, I've done a bunch of stuff. I'm awesome. Like, it's kind of like Trump, everything's Trump, everything. You know what I mean? And so therefore, it's about sort of like the marketing of self. Now, of course, there's other ways to go about it, but if you're building a personal brand, you do need to give people a reason. Sorry, one more thing. Leadership. Now, leadership can come from a number of different things, but you'd probably be looking at things like just creating new stuff and trying new stuff, creating new stuff, and sorry, I was thinking about creating new stuff and trying new stuff. Not being afraid to fail is part of that. Like it stops with you. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid of you guys judging me for my runny nose. Oh god, I should just edit this out, but I'm not going to. I'm that committed to not editing. That's how committed I am to it. Right. So anyway, all this is making sense so far, hopefully. And so what we need to do is then go, okay, what else? What else do we need in order to pull which levers, right? Because once you do, now you can get really creative with your offers, and that part is super fun. Okay, and again, it can be an affiliate, you can be a coach, you can be your own product creator. Just get creative with some of this stuff, right? So here's what we do. We've now given them a reason. We've added value. So sorry, actually, there's one more thing here. We need to add. Actually, let's do that. Add value. That's the number one thing. There's something that I heard from Ian Stanley. I feel like I've heard it elsewhere before as well. And it was about having emotional equity in your audience, right? And so therefore, that's why you put out these free pieces of content, because what you're doing is you're effectively giving people value in advance, giving them results in advance. Some of you are going to go, oh, wow, engagement. And that's how you do it. You just be, okay, far out. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then other people might go, okay, well, yeah, implied authority. If I'm talking about my results, if I'm talking about my students' results, and I keep doing that over and over again, then, okay, that's pretty cool. So some of you are going to get a value from this. Other people, by the end of it, you're going to go, oh, I'm going to put out a freaking amazing offer. I just had a great idea. Thank you so much. All right. So it's about putting out the value in advance. Now, quite often, purely from the act of you building your business, you will be adding value to people in general terms. So don't fret like, oh, I've got nothing to give. Yes, you freaking do. Don't talk to yourself like that. You do, absolutely. Even if you're brand new, still have something. Oh, what was that? Add value. Where's it going with that? Yeah, and look, understanding the mechanics. Understand the mechanics of simple economics, right? Supply and demand. So basically, if you imagine the demand is already there, especially in the if you're doing affiliate marketing and say the MMO space, make money online, then and likewise with coaching offers in general, right? Like the demand is already there. Like, I want to become free. I want to be a better, find a perfect soulmate. Okay, cool. And that's ideal for dating coaches, right? I want to be the perfect version of myself. Okay, cool. That's the demand for health coaches. I want to make more money. Okay, cool. Well, that's the demand for pretty much everything in the MMO space. And so the demand already exists. If you understand that, that's kind of cool. Now, of course, if you are able to pocket just a little corner of that in the form of an audience, and you've added value, you've created a sense of authority, you've reiterated things, you've been able to get relevant and recent results for people, that's a big one as well, then what tends to happen is people will start to look at you more and more and more, and they will start following the paper trail and figure out who. So if I'm getting help from that person, then they'll follow the paper trail, start swimming upstream to find who their mentor is, right? And so therefore you start getting this natural influx, which is kind of cool. But the other thing to bear in mind is, if I've got an audience size And I know in my, say for example, my Facebook group, which is what I teach, what I specialize in, is monetizing very small audiences. You don't need a big one. You just need to know the mechanics behind some of the stuff in order to make a ton of cash. It's nice and fun. If you're interested in joining my group, speaking of, feel free to do so via the link below. So audience sizes. Now let's be real conservative. Say you're able to rustle up 50 odd people and get them to join your group. Again, I want to reiterate, you don't need a heck of a lot of people in order to make good cash. So one of my students, they had 43 people in their group that already made $4,300 worth of deals or something like that. Like it was insane. I was like, that's pretty good. Good on you, right? So it doesn't need to be huge. You just need to know how to extract that cash flow from them, right? So having said that, if you decide, okay, well, I'm going to put out an offer, right, through out an offer. So talking to the coaches here, but the affiliates get creative with the stuff, right? So if I say throw out an offer and I go, cool, well, it's like how do I then take that the offer itself for like coaching, for example, like $1,000 for 6 weeks, or five grand for 6 weeks, whatever it is, as a coaching offer. Now think about how can we, knowing that these are the things that we've got in place, which is like audience size of 50 people, how can we, and we've got goodwill and equity in this, let's just say goodwill, goodwill in audience, right? We've already got that. Throw out an offer. So now what we can do is we can get creative. We understand that if I've got 50 people there, and these are roughly my perfect avatar, my ideal buyer that you've built up, and you've built a bit of a relationship with them, you've helped them out with some stuff. And so then when you're throwing out an offer, think about the mechanics, think about the supply and demand, and what are the leverage points that we can create in order to create a buying frenzy, right? So, really, really simple. It is time decay, which is under the term of urgency. You want to create a sense of urgency. You also want to control the economics, as I sort of alluded to before, but this one we're going to do something slightly different, which is basically you're capping out available spots, right? So if I've got an audience of 50 and I'm like trying to sell 50 spots, then there's an equilibrium. There's no like heavy demand and heavy and like limited supply. So there's no kind of like sense of urgency for people to buy that, right? Hopefully this is making sense. But then, guess what? You can create that, and you're not doing anything nefarious. You're not doing anything that's like weird or whatever. You just say, well, okay, if I've got 50 people and there's like regularly 50 people that are engaging with my content, so I actually have an engaged audience of 50 people, not just 50 random folks sitting there doing nothing. How can I take that and then create more demand and more urgency? Maybe if I cap out available spots, maybe if I put out a 5K coaching offer, I might cap that out at like 3 spots in 50, and bang, all of a sudden you made 15K, right? I know it's not as easy as that necessarily, but it can be. It can be really, really simple sometimes. And that's it. That's literally it. Those are the lever points in your business. Now, if you understand those, and you understand especially these ones, like how can I recalibrate, remaneuver these levers so that way, as the lead comes in, they're getting heavily nurtured and you're helping them out. You're actually like doing it in a real detached way, and you're just helping that person out as best as you can with the time and resources that you have available. So then at the end of that, go, cool, well, here's what I'm doing, here's an offer, would you like to check that out? Now, of course, not everyone's going to buy that. It's not the point. You're not going to be able to help absolutely everyone out. But by doing this type of stuff and understanding the mechanics behind it, now you can get creative about throwing out your own offers. So a couple of offers that I do on a very regular basis. One is, I call it a quick fire cash offer. And it's really simple. It is basically where, guess what? There is one other thing here as well. Just before I go ahead, add value. Yeah, that's it there. So you got to think when it comes to value, you got to think like emphasize the value someone gets. Right. So when I say add value, I mean doing things like this. Like it's free. You can watch it on your own. You can watch it on double time. Some of you are going to get a ton of value out of this. You're going to go, oh, that's really cool. Now I get that even better. It also is part of my sales pitch as well, right? Like I've got pull no punches about that. I've got a ton of stuff to sell, and I do sell a lot of it, which is kind of cool, right? And so therefore, people that are curious enough about this, you're going to follow the paper trail. You're going to click on links. You're going to go to my group. You're going to go find more out about me and what I've done and my students and things like that, and get your own help in your own business. But I'm still going to keep reminding folks that I'm adding value. By the way, some of you are going to see this incredibly value, even though it's like completely unpolished. That is the point of it, because I'm not looking to throw out this like bullshit polished stuff all the time. Like I do still do it from time to time, but this is more just getting the value out there and helping folks out. So I then have to tell folks, by the way, some of you are going to like find this really valuable. Some of you are probably going to go out there and create a really swanky new offer and find me on Facebook or wherever and message me and go, hey, saw your video on YouTube and I did this thing and now it's pretty amazing of what's actually occurred off the back of it. Cool, okay. I would then say, cool, I'm glad you got value. Quickfire cash offer. So this is it. Leveraging what we've discussed. You can have a time decay, so it's going to expire at midnight on wherever. You'd have limited supply. You can have stupid amounts of value, right? If I get time decay, limited supply, stupid amounts of value. What else was I going to put in there? That's it. Yeah. Reasonable exchange. Reasonable exchange. Right. Now, here's the thing. This is this thing. This little cash flow strategy is really simple. I go basically for the next 2 people only. I have, and it's like $1 billion of value there. Another $1 trillion of 100 and whatever that figure is, blah blah blah. And it's like you're putting in bonuses, you're putting all the stuff together, right? Total value, 1,008,000 thingy, and then you're putting out a small price of like $97, right? And so therefore, what happens is people see that, and especially in my case, like I'm charging $500 per hour for coaching at the moment. So therefore, if I keep articulating that to my audience, like, hey, $500 an hour, $500 an hour, blah, blah, don't really take any one-on-one students on at the moment, blah, blah, but if you do want to book a bespoke, I think it is $500 for the hour, yada, yada, yada. If I keep saying that, and then all of a sudden I lead an offer and I basically go, cool, okay, well, the first things first, you're going to get a coaching call. And on that 60-minute session together, we're going to map out a plan for you to hit your next 5 or 10, 15, 20, 30K, right, in a 1 hour time frame. Then all of a sudden, the value has just gone up, especially if I'm regularly charging a lot more, $500 to $1,000. And so therefore, that 97 now seems freaking tiny just for that alone, right? And this is why this whole process works really well. So usually when I do this, it sells out. The quickest I sold it out was 23 minutes. Sold bang 2 spots, and I think I had it at 197 each. So it's like a nice, easy $400. But the cash doesn't come from the front end. Okay, so I want to really stress that. Yeah, you get paid to hop on a call with someone for a couple of hours or an hour, or whatever. $100 to $200, depending on where you're at in your journey, things like that. Like just get creative with this stuff. But where the real value lies is that when you're on a call with someone and you can help them out. And you have helped them out. There's not trying to sell them anything, by the way. You're actually just helping them out because they have paid for your time for a coaching call. And you simply say, if you're getting along well, out of curiosity, how would it look, or would you like to see how it might look if we were to continue working together? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No worries. Look, I'd love to get some further help with that. Awesome. Look, have a read through this. Go away, have a read through this. Any questions, I'll kind of walk you through it if you like. And if it's for you, awesome. If not, no stress whatsoever, right? Now, that process and that like really hardcore sales process just there will get you around about 15 to 20% of the people that buy this front end to upgrade to the next thing, right? Super, super powerful. Now, the cool thing is you basically, if you don't sell it within 24 hours, you take it down, change the price, change the offer, retweak it, and try a different time zone. If it does sell, then you've got something that works. You've got a templated format that works. So you put it up at a different time zone, you put it up a different week, you change the offers around. So maybe it appeals to a different subset of your audience, right? And again, you're not looking at making mad amounts of cash flow on the front end. It really is that ascension that you're looking for. Okay, and that's why this has worked really well for me. For me, this has made about 60,000, give or take, over the last couple of years. I don't really do it that often these days. It's just one of the kits in my tool bag that I use as part of my arsenal. And I haven't done this for quite a long time, mainly because my calendar's been really full otherwise. That's it. And I would always, if you're doing this type of stuff, I would always lead with, oh my God, with a a coaching call. You need to get them on that thing, otherwise just a bunch of bonuses, things like that, right? So hopefully this is all making sense. Anyway, that's pretty much it. What I'll do is take the essence of this and think of the mechanics of this stuff, and then get creative. Like at the moment, I'm rolling out a case study group, for example. It's basically 4 weeks, so an hour a week for 4 weeks, $1,500 a pop, and I've sold one spot is paid and locked in, which is cool. I expect another 3 to drop overnight. So I'll cap that out to be 5 spots, and it's like what, $7.5 or whatever it is for 1 month, 1 hour a week, basically. Plus they get access to a whole bunch of stuff. And so again, same thing happens, capping it out at 5 spots. I've already got 1, so that actually adds juice to the 4 remaining spots, which is cool. So hence why the offers that are already out there are probably going to come back pretty quick as well. And that's it. Yeah, nice and easy. And so then you just, because you've created this demand, based on the equity that you've built in your audience, you can just do this type of stuff over and over and over and over and over again, create new angles, different things, different coaching, no coaching, whatever. Now, one thing I will say, addressing any affiliates, I know some of you, bless you, will have a limiting belief at the stage where I don't want to coach anyone, I don't want to sell anything. Well, sales is everywhere, so get over that part. But secondly, the other part of this is get creative. That's what I'm saying, get creative with this stuff. Like if you've got the template, you've got the format there, like hang on a minute, okay, I cap out the numbers, yeah, okay, I get that. Cap out the time, so basically if this doesn't sell within 24 hours, I'll take it down, or by the end of the weekend, okay, I get that. How do I add a whole bunch of value? Okay, we've got these bonuses that I got. I can probably create that bonus. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, I don't have a coach. I'm not a coach, so does that mean that I can't do this? No, absolutely not. Get creative, right? So you might have a product that pays, for example, it might be, I've got a $97 product, and it pays, guess what? Times 70% comms, you're going to get $67 or whatever it is off the back of that, right? So you can still do it for the same thing, right? So you make a nice little sale, and then you jump on the call, you guide them through the thing, blah, blah, blah. By the way, would you like to get some info on how it might look if we were to continue working together? Yes, that sounds absolutely exquisite. I would love that. Cool. Here's how I help people, and this is the results that I've been able to get, and here's the pricing. Go away and think about it. Or, cool, can we get you locked in today? Bang, right? Nice and easy. Anyway, look, hopefully this helps a couple of you guys out. I'm going to leave a copy of the doc below. There is also a case study video there if you're interested in learning a little bit more about my strategies, how I help my students, and my overall business process, how that's allowed me to scale from obscurity and nothing. We're back in 2019 to now clocking up to 51K months. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Plus awards, etc. Yada yada. Big, huge ego. No, just kidding. I don't. Anyway, look, hopefully that helps a couple of you guys out. Drop any comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button as well. Really appreciate it. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.